I grew up in Texas till I was 7, and there I don't really remember much. But then I moved to Kentucky, and from the age of about 11, I started helping my dad. He did flooring and remodeling, so I would go with him like twice a week because I was homeschooled. So I would do my work after I got home from working with him or before going to work, and I learned how to do wood flooring, tile, remodeling, plumbing, electrical, everything like that. So I guess that helped me get a good work ethic growing up. And then I was in a tiny town. So when I started getting close to 18, I was like, I want to get the heck out of here.
So what are some main differences that you notice between Texas and Kentucky? Because I want to be completely honest. I hear all these things about Texas, and I don't know one person that's ever said anything bad about Texas that's like actually lived there or that was from Texas. And I probably know 2 people from Kentucky. So what was it like? I just assume it's like a bunch of farmland, you know?
Well, I grew up in Dallas, Texas, so it's a huge city. And then I went to Owensboro, Kentucky, which is like small, like town. Like I had to drive 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get to Walmart. So it was a very big difference there. I would say the big downside with Texas, which is why I was homeschooled, is the school systems in the area were very, very, very huge on gangs. So they had a lot of gangs back in the 90s when I was growing up there, and it was getting pretty bad. And there was a lot of, even in the elementary school, middle school, people like killing each other in the like outside of school, obviously not on the school grounds, but it was pretty bad at the time. And that's why my parents decided just to homeschool us.
Like, nah, fam, hey, you coming home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yo, so that's crazy. Now, you did homeschooling in both Dallas and Kentucky? Or
yes.
What was it like? Okay.
So I did it in both. When we went to Kentucky, we went to a Christian school for 2 years, and then the school ended up closing down. So we were like, well, I guess it's back to homeschooling.
So what'd you actually think of homeschool? Because like I see a lot of people doing homeschool, and to be honest, there's a lot of things that I've seen and experienced by being in a public school, from fights and just like, you know, like kind of hearing about other people's endeavors. But I just can't see myself have, like, if I being homeschooled, I would get too claustrophobic.
Yeah, so it's really specifically on the person and the parents on how they do it. If you're homeschooled to the point where you have no outside interaction, then I think that leads to social impairment later on in life. Luckily for me, we had a very big, they called it a homeschool group. And it was a bunch of families who all got together who were homeschooled. So I had, I had so many more, like so much friends that we could go during the school day to go hang out with them, because since you're homeschooled, I could do school before or after, or I could do 2 days in one day and then have the next day off to go hang out with people. And then, the kids who lived around me were all in public school. So I got a lot of the interaction through them like that. But yeah, I definitely, the majority of the homeschool kids I knew, it was a social impairment.
So for those that are grew up in Dallas or from Dallas, so obviously you started what time, or when did you actually start going to homeschool? I know it was in Dallas, but so I'm assuming you just went to elementary.
Kindergarten, first grade, second grade. There's curriculums that you can get. There's several curriculums, but the curriculum I did started in kindergarten, and I would do it. And then when I got in the first grade, they would actually grade it and submit it to the school systems to prove that we were actually doing school.
Okay, so you can't really give a shout out to a specific school because you never formally went to a public school? Oh, no, man.
Never did. My brother did, because he's 2 years older than me. And then that's when they were like, nope, this ain't happening.
What school did he go to?
Oh, you're talking about when I was like 2 or 3 years old. I have no idea.
I know all my schools, and you know, it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I usually know more about the inside of the principal's office. That's usually what I know, or freaking detention. But okay, so we got early life homeschooling, and like I said, I don't know how I would have managed it, but you obviously found a way to be able to interact. So you're going from, more of an enclosed type life, and I'm assuming you did homeschool until when? All the way up to the end of high school?
Yes. So that was the only good point about homeschooling. Besides, I mean, if you get the right curriculum, it's very like challenging information. Like usually our normal curriculum is like the whatever you call the advanced curriculum at a public school.
Right.
And then we have ones above that are basically like college classes. And for my high school, or my senior year, I took all my credits at a college. So like I needed a history credit, I needed a math credit in English and stuff like that. I just took college classes and they counted for both my high school and college credits. So my entire senior year, I didn't do any actual high school work. I did all college work. And it translated for the end of high school, which was, I think, a benefit to it.
Wow. That's crazy. I knew a couple people that actually did the majority of actually homeschooling. Like my cousins grew up homeschooling, and I would always see my aunt like teaching them certain things. And you know what? Let me give a big shout out to all the parents that had to do homeschooling during this whole COVID thing. I'm stressed out thinking about it. I mean, I had my son here during the summer, but I wasn't necessarily like teaching him schoolwork. It was the summertime, so I definitely went over some stuff with him. We did some activities and whatnot, but the patience you have to have, especially when you have like a young kid, like my son's 8, so it's a little different. He's still all over the damn place, but when you have those younger kids and you're not only got to be a caretaker of them, but you have to actually be patient with them and teach them. And shout out to all the parents that stay home doing that, because it's not as sweet as everybody thinks. It's like, oh, I get to stay home. Absolutely not. You start to hate the house after a while. I just want to get out of here.
Especially when you have somebody hard-headed like me. I'm sure I gave my mom a lot of gray hairs.
But at least you can admit it, though. Most people think they're just,
yeah.
I was So that's crazy. So growing up, did you have any hobbies that kind of like stuck out? Like whether sports or like, did you like to draw? Did you like to mess with computers?
Yeah, so I was really big into computers, and I built my own desktop when I was probably like 14.
Oh, wow.
And then I did graphic designing. So I actually, before I joined the Marine Corps, I spent 2 years as a head graphic designer for a screen printing company, Owensboro. And that actually translated when we get further into my life and when I started the business, that experience helped out a lot.